So as you can see here, we have a tabular arrangement and a Cartesian coordinate system x and y. So let's start with labeling this horizontal ray as your x-axis and your vertical ray as your y-axis. Let's begin in there. And now we go to the tables. This would be for your x, which is in minute, which describes the time that passes by as your coffee cools down. And the other part would be your y values, which is in terms of degrees Celsius. And as I have written in the previous slide, for 0 minute, we have an observed temperature of 90 degrees Celsius. After 5 minutes, we have 42.9. After 10 minutes, we have 27.5 degrees Celsius. After 15 minutes, we have 22.5 degrees Celsius. And after 20 minutes, we have 20.8 degrees Celsius. Why did I make the table? We're looking at a certain relationship, right? So we are going to describe the relationship between x and y now. So of course, we are going to start by plotting the points. So looking at the graph, I have inserted labels. For the x-axis, I inserted labels of 10, so at a scale of 10, but it's actually a preference. You could also use, for example, this graphical grids to help you in determining your scales or intervals. So in this case, my preference is to scale them by 10. So in the x-axis, I have intervals of 10, and on the y-axis, I have intervals of 20, values of 20. So it depends on you. You could use intervals of 1, intervals of 2, or intervals of 5, and so on and so forth. Now let's go to the graph. Okay, we will need the grids. So at 0 degrees Celsius, we will have a value for, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, at 0 minute, I'm sorry, we will have a value of 90 degrees Celsius. So it's somewhere here. Actually, it's here. Now at 5 minutes, we have 42.9. So 5 minutes, we have 42.9. Where is 5 minutes? It's in the middle. And 42.9, it's here. So we have here. At 10 minutes, we have 27.5. So 10 minutes, we have 27.5. So it's in between 20 and 40, but not greater than 30. So it's here. Okay. At 15 minutes, we have 22.5. 22.5. 22.5 at 15 minutes. So it's in between 10 and 20 for the x-axis. And for the y-axis, it would be in between 20 and 40. But of course, much, much less than 40. So it's here. And for 20 minutes, which would be our limit for this part, we are going to graph, or we are going to get a value of 20.8 degrees Celsius. So 20.8 degrees Celsius, it would be somewhere, it would be somewhere above the broken line. Okay. It'd be here. Okay, now this is cleaner. We have this point here. Okay, now we're going to describe the movement of the graph. So we're going to use a curve. We're going to describe the curve. Okay, so how are we going to describe the curve? We are just going to connect the points. Of course, obviously this won't be a straight line, but something like, okay, something like a curve. Okay. This part is not really, that part is not straight, okay? That part is not straight. It should be something like that. But we don't have a lot of space for that to do, so just um, do it by yourself in a graphing paper and see how it goes, okay? But technically the curve will be similar to that one. So what are we going to do here? We're going to analyze the graph. What is our range here? Our range is from here going to 20. So our range would be from 20 y to 90 degrees Celsius. Now why did our y not equal to 20? Why is it not equal to 20? Remember this, that we have a broken line here. We have a broken line here. Now this broken line is what we call, in mathematical terms, this is what we call an asymptote. Asymptote. This is the limit or the boundary of a certain value. Now, you cannot reach that. You can only approach that, but you can't reach it. In certain cases, that's absolutely true. In this case, that's absolutely true. As I've told you that, the coffee temperature won't be equal to the room temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius is the room temperature. The coffee temperature won't reach 20 degrees Celsius simply because of thermal conductivity, as I've explained to you a while ago. So this would be the range. What is our domain? Our domain would be from 0 to 20. This one. Okay, this is our domain. Domain. This is our range. This is our range. Okay, so what is our domain? Our domain is x. It is x less than or equal to 0, and it would be less than or equal to 20 because of the table in there. So this is how we graph a certain function. This is how we describe a certain function in terms of numbers. We use numbers. Graphical, so we use graphs, and also algebra. We use algebra. Now this function, the curved function here, would be y is equal to 20 plus 70 times 0.8 x. It's a power function, but don't worry about this power function because I'm going to discuss this in lesson 2. So again, this is the end of the discussion for lecture 1, and for lecture 2 I'm going to describe how to get the functions in a verbal manner. So thank you for listening and watching.